The Conservative Party is on the verge of collapse. I believe that we are about to see the failure of one of the most important political parties in Western Europe. This video goes through what is going on and explains to you the possibility of the collapse. I personally think it's going to happen, but you may disagree. Hello everyone, this is Andre Walker. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe, but more importantly, hit the bell notification icon because it's the best way to absolutely guarantee you get all my videos as soon as they are released. What a disaster this membership thing is. I've got to be honest with you. I genuinely thought that the reform ticker was just a hypothecated thing like Kemi Badenoch thought, but I didn't have the stupidity to call Nigel Farage a liar. She did. So what has happened? First of all, on Boxing Day, Reform UK projected their genuine ticker of how many members they've got on CCHQ, Conservative Campaign Headquarters, wall. When it ticked over the total number of members the Conservative Party have got, they press released out that they've got more members than the Conservative Party. Kemi Badenoch, in a remarkably intemperate series of tweets, disputed the technology. Now, I will tell you, I've spoken to lawyers, I've spoken to technicians, I've seen the fact checkers. There is absolutely no doubt that Kemi Badenoch is wrong. There is absolutely no doubt that that ticker, unlike the ones you see at Euston Station with UK debt is whatever, unlike those, this one was linked to Nation Builder, which is the database of members. Farage is definitely right. So first of all, 10,000 people joined immediately, because when you say you've got no members, screw you, the membership of the organisation, in this case Reform UK, goes up. Secondly, Kemi Badenoch has defamed Nigel Farage and accused him of being a fraudster. She's got real problems. She's going to lose a court case. But the next thing is this: the grassroots of the Conservative Party are absolutely apoplectic. Now, I will tell you why I believe the Conservative Party is about to collapse. What has happened in the Conservative Party, which has annoyed me, is the party, the leadership, the professionals, they're all Liberal Democrats and they've taken over. But what has happened is the ordinary grassroots has stuck with them. The reason that UKIP had so many problems is because they didn't have the little Bob Jones, who's the vice chairman for membership in Bracknell. They didn't have those 10,000 or 20,000 people, the young Conservative chairman in Lee, all those sorts of guys, people who've been involved for quite a long time and know how to run things on the ground. They don't have that. I was always told by a friend of mine who's now a Conservative MP that the big risk for the Conservative Party is when those people start changing sides. And when would they do that? Well, first and foremost, the reason these people stick with the Conservative Party is because the Conservative Party is the predominant brand in conservatism. That is to say, they are the Conservative Party most likely to win. Okay? So then Farage comes along, gets 5 seats. Still not fantastic, and he still has this problem with ordinary party members and activists, and we've heard this from Ben Habib about the fact that they've got this political party that's a limited company and whatever. So what has been happening in recent weeks is this: Conservative members have been leaving, not in enormous numbers, but they've been leaving. But more importantly, and I say this as a Conservative officer, the leadership of ordinary Conservative associations, constituency parties, have debated what they do next. I know of a number of parties that are considering changing sides. Now, how that works exactly, I don't know, and neither do they, but they're considering changing sides lock, stock and barrel. And then what happens next? They are looking in the next few weeks and months and years about which Conservative brand is going to be more viable. If Kemi Badenoch is successfully sued by Nigel Farage for lying about him, she has to leave the Conservative leadership. And that means what happens next, I would suggest, is hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of ordinary officers begin deserting the Conservative Party. Now, I've heard about all these bigwigs in CCHQ, none of them are any good, who lord it over people, but they rely on the local party members. UKIP and Reform UK, and indeed the Brexit Party, had a problem. They didn't have these people. Once local association executives start abandoning the Conservative Party, they've got real problems. Now, you have been told the strength of a political party is in its number of MPs. I'm not sure that's true in the media age. But it doesn't matter whether 50 MPs go to Reform UK. I don't think they will. What matters is if 50 local association executives do. Imagine if the Conservative Party, with no leader because she had to resign for lying, with no money because they'd all deserted them, with no support because they've angered everyone, with no staff because they had to fire them because they've got no money, and now they've got no grassroots. Wobble, wobble, wobble. This is the moment when their predominant status starts to be challenged. I believe that in the next few weeks we will see genuine political parties affiliated to Reform, and when I say that, what I mean is that individual local parties sometimes are independent from the National Party. I think we will see Reform local parties become bigger than Conservative local parties. When that happens, the councillors will start to defect, the vice chairman will start to defect, the ward chairman will start to defect, the young Conservative chairman will start to defect, because they will say, nobody loves the Conservative Party. We only got with them because they were winners. And now they're an effing liability. So we need to walk away from them. I think what will happen now is relatively quick. Nigel Farage has a decision to make as I get my drink. Nigel Farage has a decision to make. And normally what you would say is this: don't sue another political party leader. The reason is because it's going to take you 18 months and £1 million. But in the case of Farage, if he sues Badenoch, she's done. The party's done. The 18 months of arguments screw them. He's demanding an apology. Well, okay, what if she apologises? She's done then. They are now a liability, and I think Reform sweeps in. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I am no lover of this situation. I was a great lover of the Conservative Party. Do you know something? When I was 19 years old, I got onto the Young Conservative National Executive. I was one of the youngest officers ever to serve in the Conservative Party. And I was incredibly proud of what the Conservative Party had done, particularly under Margaret Thatcher and whatever. And I hated Tony Blair, and I still do. But you know, the reality is these people, and I don't mean the ordinary members, but these people, the professional staff at CCHQ, the Alan Mabbotts of this world, have comprehensively destroyed the Conservative Party. And what they did, they took the money, they took the OBEs, they took the MBEs, they took the angulation. They were rude to people like me. I only stayed a member because I knew it annoyed them more than me leaving. But they took all that and they expected to be in an unassailable position because of the local members. I think in the next month, they're about to be taught that that cannot be relied upon. Now, I don't know what happens next, but I will say to you that if I was Nigel Farage, I would stick the knife in hard. You destroy Kemi, they lose the case, you wipe out the party. All of these ordinary executive members, leadership members, local members are considering moving across, and I think this makes the decision for them. Until next time, goodbye.